In the heart of ancient Africa, where the sun painted the earth in hues of amber and the air shimmered with the heat of 1,000 stories, there reigned a princess unlike any other. Her kingdom was cradled between red clay hills, where the baobab trees stood as silent witnesses to centuries of tradition, and sacred forests whispered secrets only the wind could decipher. Here life pulsed to the rhythm of djembe drums, their thunderous beats echoing beneath full moons, calling spirits and ancestors to dance in the night. The princess was a vision carved from midnight, her skin dark as obsidian, gleaming with an inner light that seemed to defy the sun itself. Her hair, thick and coiled, crowned her head like a halo of night, and her eyes, deep, fathomless pools, held storms and stars alike. She moved with the grace of a lioness. Every gesture, a poem, every glance, a challenge. Her name was whispered with reverence and awe across the land. She was more than royalty. She was myth, legend, a living embodiment of the goddess her people worshipped, yet beneath the regal bearing and the cloak of mystery, there was a wildness, a fire that no one had yet tamed from far and wide. Suitors came, princes bearing gold chiefs, offering jewels, warriors promising kingdoms and power. They arrived in caravans that glittered in the sunlight, their retinue trailing behind like rivers of color. They brought gifts, ivory combs, silks from distant lands, rare spices and sacred relics. Each came with a story, a boast, a vision of what they could offer her. But the princess turned them all away. She sat upon her throne, a seat carved from ancient wood inlaid with mother of pearl, and guarded by carved leopards, and listened to their pleas. She watched their performances, their dances, their songs, their declarations of love and loyalty. Some tried to woo her with poetry, others with feats of strength. Some attempted to impress her with their knowledge of the stars, their prowess in battle, or their mastery of the spirits. Yet with a tilt of her head and a smile that was both invitation and dismissal, she sent them away, some left in anger, others in sorrow. Many returned to their lands with tales of her beauty and her pride. Her mystery and her power, whispers grew. Was she cursed? Was she waiting for a sign from the gods? Was her heart already claimed by a secret lover hidden from the world's gaze? But the truth was simpler and infinitely more complex. The princess was not looking for a man to conquer her. She was not a prize, not a jewel to be worn, nor a throne to be claimed. She waited for a soul powerful enough to awaken hers or shatter it. She yearned for a connection that would set her spirit alight, that would challenge her, see her, and match the wildness within. And so the seasons turned, the rains came drumming upon the palace roof, filling the rivers and painting the world in green. The dry winds followed, swirling red dust through the courtyards. And across the fields the moon waxed and waned, the stars wheeled overhead, and still the princess waited. Then one day, as the sun dipped low and the sky blazed with the colors of fire, he arrived. He came not on horseback, nor in a gilded palanquin. He wore no crown, carried no scepter, bore no gifts of gold or jewels. He walked alone, his stride steady, his presence quiet but undeniable. His skin was the color of rich earth, his body lean and strong, marked by scars that told stories of battles fought and won. His eyes, dark, intense, held a power that seemed to see through the very fabric of the world. he did not bow as he entered the great hall. Instead, he met the princess's gaze, unflinching, unwavering around them. Courtiers whispered, scandalized by his audacity. But the princess only smiled, a slow, secret smile that curled at the edges of her lips. He spoke, and his voice was low, resonant, carrying the weight of thunder and the promise of rain. He did not flatter, did not plead instead. He offered a challenge, a riddle, a test, a dance of minds and wills. The princess's eyes sparkled with delight. At last, someone who did not seek to possess her but to engage her. Someone who understood that true power was not in domination, but in the meeting of equals. They sparred with words their conversation, a duel of wit and wisdom. Each probing, parrying, laughing, the court watched, transfixed, as the air between them crackled with energy. Days passed, and the stranger remained. He did not seek her favor, did not try to win her with gifts or promises. Instead, he shared stories, tales of distant lands, of storms weathered, of losses endured, and victories hard won. He listened truly, listened to her words, her dreams, her fears. They walked together beneath the ancient trees, the forest alive with the songs of birds and the rustle of leaves. They sat by the river feet, dangling in cool water, watching the sunset in a blaze of color. They danced beneath the stars, their bodies moving in perfect harmony to the rhythm of drums and heartbeats. The princess found herself drawn to him, not by force, but by a magnetic pull she could not resist. He did not seek to tame her wildness, but to match it, to celebrate it, to kindle it into something even greater one night. As the moon hung heavy and full in the sky, the stranger led her to a clearing deep within the sacred forest. There, surrounded by the scent of earth and the song of night insects, he looked at her not as a princess, not as a prize, but as a woman fierce and free. He reached out his touch, gentle, reverent. In that moment, something shifted within her. A door, long locked, swung open, and the wildness she had guarded so fiercely surged forth. The air was electric, charged with anticipation. The world seemed to hold its breath, and then the princess screamed. It was not a scream of fear nor of pain, but of release, a sound that echoed through the valley rising above the trees. Carrying across the hills, it was a scream of joy, of freedom, of recognition. For the first time, someone had touched something sacred within her, something more precious than the throne itself. The palace heard her cry, and the people whispered. Some said she had been claimed by a spirit, others that she had found her equal at last. But only she and the stranger knew the truth in the days that followed. The princess walked with a new lightness, a new fire in her step. She ruled with wisdom and compassion, her heart open and her spirit unbound. The stranger remained by your side, not as a conqueror, but as a partner, a fellow traveler on the journey of life together. They forged a new legend, one not of conquest, but of connection, a story whispered beneath full moons, carried on the wind, and etched into the hearts of all who heard it. For in the end, the greatest power is not to rule, but to awaken, not to possess, but to set free. And in the meeting of two wild hearts, a new world is born. In the years that followed, the kingdom flourished, the red clay hills yielded bountiful harvests, the sacred forest thrived, and the djembe drums beat ever louder, calling forth celebrations that lasted for days. The people spoke of their queen, the goddess carved from night, and her consort, the stranger who had come with nothing but himself and a challenge. Their love became legend, inspiring songs and stories that traveled far beyond the borders of their land. Children grew up hearing the tale of the princess who waited not for riches or power, but for a soul that could meet hers in the wild places where dreams are born. They learned that true strength lies not in domination, but in vulnerability, that the greatest treasures are not those that can be held, but those that are shared. They saw in their queen a model of courage, a woman unafraid to demand more, to wait for the one who could truly see her as the years turned. The queen and her consort grew older, their love deepening with each passing season. They faced storms and droughts, wars and peace joys and sorrows. Through it all, they stood together, their bond unbroken, their spirits entwined. And when at last the queen's time came to leave this world, the entire kingdom mourned. But they also celebrated, for they knew that her spirit would live on in the red clay hills, in the sacred forests, in the beat of the drums and the laughter of children. Her story became a beacon, a guiding star for generations to come. And in the quiet moments when the moon hung full and the night was alive with possibility, some swore they could still hear her scream, echoing through the valley, a song of freedom, of joy, of a love that had awakened her soul and set it free. So it was, and so it shall ever be in the land where the wild hearts roam.